Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Peteman Reviews. Today we have the Triple Changer Specials. These are the Decepticon Triple Changers, of course, and we have the original G1 versions, or at least as near enough as one's worth having, and also some third-party releases. The third-party releases come respectively from Unique Toys, DX9 and ToyWorld, and these give updated, slightly more accurate triple change versions than the original toys. Okay, so now we're going to focus on Astrotrain, or rather the ToyWorld version of Evila Star. Now, in terms of packaging, ToyWorld give you quite a nice box with a lot of cartoon style packaging on there. As I say, it's called Evila Star, as you can see. So that's the robot mode on that side, train on that side, and shuttle on that side, and then you just have a packwork box like that. Unusual to have a cartoon style box without packaging of the actual toy, and sometimes it would be a little bit helpful to actually see some images to make sure that you're transforming him correctly, as the instructions aren't too bad to follow, but there's quite a complexity of transformer here. Okay, so in terms of train mode, as you can see, it's a brilliant looking train mode. It even comes with some track. When you move Evila Star or Astrotrain on it, I'm not sure how well you can see that, so we'll just zoom in a little bit here. But as you can see, the actual wheels, the linked wheels, actually move up and down, which is quite an impressive feat to be able to do. You've actually got room for his guns in both locomotive and in terms of shuttle mode, which is something the original Astrotrain lacked. And there's two of them. So in terms of detailing, you know, it's fantastic detail on it. Just look at how that works. You've even got a proper chimney. You've got excellent detailing all along there. As you can see, these actually are linked and moved. You've even got so far as to cab detailing as well. It is a magnificent transformer. The actual pieces of track you get are surprisingly chunky, and they just slot together like that, so you can run up and down on them if you so wish. They do have their own little home within the box, or rather within the polystyrene within the box, and it all works really well. So transformation wise, I'm going to transform him into space shuttle mode. Take him off the guns to begin with. Put them to one side. So to begin with, now this is where things get a little bit tricky, just because of the sheer number of steps to go. There's something like 28 steps. Actually, let's just check. I did lie. It's 25 steps to get him into space shuttle mode, and then another 30 steps to get him into robot mode. Yeah. We might have to use the instructions at some point. This is a complex transformation. Okay, so you want to start off by looking here. You see these, I'm just going to move the light a little bit. Okay, so you see these parts here. They just pull out. So I'm trying to angle it a bit here. Oops. If I kick the camera, does that make it any more easier? Probably not. So this one is in. You then pull it out. I lie. It should have been out. You push it in. Very, very simple. Step 2, that goes up. Hey, these steps are easy. Well, to begin with they are, but it gets more complex. By the way, it helps to, if you just think about how this is going to work. This is the front of the shuttle here. You can see underneath these parts here. You've got wings here, so this is all the rear. Just give you some idea of how we're going to end up with things looking. Okay, so on the front of the train now, which will be the rear of the shuttle. This whole section here will lift up, like so. So what we've now got, this whole bit comes up here, like this. Now, little wheels flip up. So that actually goes nice level mode there. The same on this side, little wheels flip up and in. It makes it nice and flush. And you can actually see at the back here underneath, rockets. It's quite well how they're hidden away there. They are a little bit springy. That's so that they lock into place here, but it also means that they pop out when you're ready for it. Okay, so next step is actually to turn this all around. So start off by little spring here, so that all pops out like that, and that rotates up. Then it pops back in. Then, now that we've done all that, it slots back down. So now you've got the train inside and the rockets out. Heck, that's a hell of a good way of doing it, isn't it? It's a shame. I know that technology didn't exist for the original one, but a bit of a shame it didn't, because it's so efficient. And you can have really detailed wheel rocket as well. Goes up and round, so it flips like that. These stay here, and actually they kind of get a bit in the way, but we'll come to that later. Okay, so same deal here. If it pops off, it's meant to do that, and you get that wheel out of the way. So you've got these two wheels here. So now for the wings. One wing, two wings. Okay, so what we are looking at doing, or we will be looking at doing, you don't want to pull the wings out just yet. This wheel here will want to rise up like that. I guess we're going to just let it. No, we're going to not let it, because it will get in the way later on. So if it does, you just pop it out. The reason it wants to rise up is because this little bit here sometimes catches on the wing. Now you see what I mean about these bits here. They kind of stay there. Not so great, but never mind. I've seen worse. Okay, so how are we doing? Well, we're not doing too badly. Have this like that. So we've got these wheels out of the way here. We've got these little wheels are actually already up. See, little wheels there are already up, which is good. So we now want to get these out of the way. So these just fold down like so. I don't know if you saw that because I wasn't holding the camera. That folds down like so. Okay, you see we're starting to get there. It looks, well, the front's not there, but the side and the rear are looking a lot better. Okay. We've still got a long way to go, trust me on this. What we're now going to do is we're now going to get the tail fin out. So this comes apart like that. You can kind of see here we've got the tail hidden away. So having now done that, what we now need to do here, you kind of need to try and get hold of it. There we go. So that all comes up like that. Okay, so our special tool is a pair of tweezers. These is flipping difficult to get out. Now, I have had a go already at pulling this out. You just have to put the end of the tweezers in there and push it up. Otherwise, it will go down there. And will it come up? Will it heck? They are extremely difficult. You've seen me having to do this before. It won't be the first time you have to see me do this. Nor will it be the last, not even on the Triple Changer Special. Blitzwing or Gewalt, it's the same problem. Okay, so this bit slots into there. Quite a tight fit. There we are. There we go. Okay, and now once you've done that, you can now put this back down where you found it, and these then slide back up and in position there. Okay, so we're getting somewhere with our tail fin. Now the whole rear wings here, you see there's a silver rod here, they actually slide back on them, and in fact, so now you need to make sure that the wings can go back, and so they go into here. It's not as complex as that. The instructions are fairly useless in this regard, and the whole transformation, frankly, is the worst part of, I think, any third-party transformer I've ever seen. It's a real disappointment, and it doesn't ruin the transformer, it just makes it unnecessarily complex. So what you need to do is you basically need to halfway disassemble the guy. When I say disassemble, I mean transform him into the robot in order to be able to get the arms out, in order to get the wings down. I'll show you. So in theory, the instruction says these go down and back. What a load of crap. To be blunt, they don't. You have to take the arm up, this part up here, and then actually take the arm out to be able to make this tiny piece here then float down. Because now you've done that, that will now go down enough. But now you need to get the arm back, and that is where it's a little bit tricky, because obviously this part wants to stay that way, so you need to feed it in. Got one arm done, same side here, up, pull this out, we're going to put this down now, put this back, so that's now locked into place. Same deal now, we've got to get the arm down and in. This is the tricky bit here. just going to try and get that out of the way here. Now I'm just going to pop the arm here. Remember that this piece keeps on wanting to go back up. I hate it. It will go, but it really does not want to. We've done it. Whew. That was unnecessarily complicated. So what you now have is this is now slot nicely into this gap here, and that slot nice into the gap there. Put it down for a second and we'll just say, based on this, you've got some choices with your Astrotrain or Evila Star model. You either transform him perfectly and you struggle with him time again, and let's face it, sooner or later one of those pieces is going to break. Or you keep him permanently in spaceship mode, or permanently in, I guess, either robot or train mode. It does not really go, it works, don't get me wrong, but I think something will snap there at some point. So it's a real design flaw. It doesn't ruin the Transformer, no, but it goes a hell of a long way to ruining the Transformer, and that's a shame for me, because otherwise it's very good, but that bit is just, it's just dire, it really is. Anyway, okay, so now we need to get the front round, so obviously we've got the head part here. So, whole thing disconnects at various stages, and you want to do some rotation. Just getting all these bits unconnected, like so. This is so you can kind of do, so you want to rotate it, but you also want to get this the other way around. Now within here is the front of the nose cone. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to get all this rotated around like here, because once this is all connected, we can then just do one big leg rotation. Yeah, it is a little bit complicated, but trust me, it will work. So we're going to connect it with the nose first of all. So what you have to do here is unhinge this. There's the, oh, careful holding how you hold it. There is the nose in there. It will flip round, so the whole thing, as you can see, flips like that. Because these are actually also his feet as well, which is why you've got all the flexible joint parts on there. And that's the front nose. Okay, so same deal here. That goes round. Then you want to, come on. I think it's caught on something. No, it's just being a pain. Never mind. There we go. Okay. Looks pretty decent, doesn't it? While we're here, we will just, just flip out the landing legs. See? Or landing wheel even. We're just going to move that out of the way, flip that out like that. Just because it means we don't have to do it again. Okay, so these will attach together. You can see you've got the classic peg and hole. Nice to have something simple for a change, isn't it? And there we go. And you know what, it actually connects together very well indeed. Once you get all the pegs lined up, because there's another little one down the bottom. Okay, so now we rotate, get these out of the way, we rotate it all back, and you kind of see how we're doing. We're getting pretty close. So this will then go here. If you've seen the review I did of iGear, Ironhide and Ratchet, very similar movement there to get that into the top. And this forms your top. Don't worry about the panel gaps, we'll close them all later. The reason I'm not too worried about them at the moment is because frankly it's more important to just get the thing in place and then worry about panel gaps. So I was going to get those back down there. These will go gap there. These will come out here. Actually, they do go like that, so you have, see, like so. We've got a big panel gap here. Remember we put these over? So that will close that. In fact, I think I'm going to put these on last, just because I feel the way they're going to tie will just nicely tie together there. So let's put this panel gap closed there. Again, you can see it just goes over and slots into place. And then finally, you've got the top bits here, which I have to say it is all a little bit fiddly because there's so many different bits. Kind of the way to close it all is to close one bit, but you can't close one bit without closing another bit, but that bit doesn't close because the other bit's not closed. So it's a little bit chicken and egg. Which bits do you close first? Ultimately, you just have to keep on going. They will eventually all close up. I'm just thinking, debating, do we want to put that like that? I think not. I think we'll leave it like that. What do you think? Open? Looks a bit odd open, I have to say. I think it probably does go like that. You know, it kind of wants to go in there, doesn't it? But I don't think it does. No, it doesn't at all. I kind of think I almost want to do that because there's a gap there, but it just doesn't stretch enough, so that's like that. So, lastly, just put the little wheels down there. The back there, and the back there. Whew, that's a heck of a build, and we're not even halfway. Okay, so he's finally in shuttle mode. There he is with the G1 mode. It's not bad, is it? It is highly reminiscent of this mode, but it's been updated. I guess it's the space shuttle. The fact that this one is a particularly good space shuttle just means that this one, if it's also a good space shuttle, which it is, will always look a bit like that. One thing that is worth notable is if you do try to and somehow manage to fit the guns in here with that wheel up, it's a nice little homage to that one with the wheel stuck up as well. Which, you know, nice touch. The rear is particularly good. I have to say that one's got the more prominent boosters than this one, but this one's pretty darn good as well. Front is good. I like the fact you've got the little landing gear here. But the front looks very good as well. It looks, you know, it's quite an imposing space shuttle, and it does look so realistic as well. Underneath is where all the rubbish is kept, so it's obviously got train elements. You kind of need to try and keep these. Oh, I haven't finished. Look at that. Look at that. We forgot to put that out. Oops. There we go. Well, how about that? It's an even more realistic space shuttle now, with the streamlining on there. It's very, very good. Far too complex to transform. Ridiculously complex to transform into space shuttle mode. Does it ruin it for me? I wouldn't go so far as to say that, because it doesn't. It's just a shame. There was no need for it. They must have been able to do the wings better than that. Now, we're not done yet. We've got to get him into robot mode. Yeah, it is going to take another long time. Sorry, everybody. But maybe we'll do this as another part. I'll tell you what. Come back later and we'll transform him into robot mode. Thank you.